It's booty, a.k.a. balls and feet. I got a lot of balls to kick, and I ain't got time, but I got feet, baby. You say you footy, but you never kicked a ball. We got the balls and feet here on the Footy Show. You ain't no friend of mine, kicking balls and feet. It's on the show, baby. Welcome, Footy Fetish, baby. We're here, we're back. It's Booty, it's Ocho, it's time, it's Champions League, right here, right now. I'm here to snort some Champions League. I need it in my life. Let's roll up a fatty full of Champions League and funk and fun.
Pour me up a glass of some Champions League, baby.
I'll have what he's having. Yes, sir.
Oh, my goodness.
Welcome. Shout out to Footy, a.k.a. Ferrari. I don't even know what that means. What was he talking about there? Is it because he bought a Ferrari?
I guess so. You can start calling him Ferrari now.
All right, a.k.a. Ferrari. What up, Ferrari? You're shutting the face. Yeah, I bought my Ferrari. That's my job. I call my wife 50 Cent all the time. She never opens her mouth when she speaks. I'm like, what the fuck are you saying? Speak.
We could get you a record label right now.
You watching porn again? Anyway, what you been up to, dude?
Yeah! Back on the mic! What's the mic at? It's been so long since I've done that. I had to do it.
I know.
I had to do it.
Slipping,
man.
Get back on this
We're
shit.
back on it. You know, we've had some rough times in New Orleans. We're getting back to normal.
Man.
Finally getting back to normal after that hurricane. Everybody's got power and internet. You take that for granted. Once it's taken away from you, it's like, holy shit.
And gas.
Gas. And food.
Yeah.
All these things that are essential really makes you appreciate how fragile life is when all that stuff kind of just disappears.
It was a really first world situation because I ended up I was eating SpaghettiOs out of a can for like a week.
Damn.
And it got to a point where I was like, I will pay whatever, just whatever is open. I don't care. I don't care what the fuck it is.
No.
Buffalo Wild Wings.
Something.
I dropped $30 at Buffalo Wild Wings. It's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, please, chicken, something, anything.
But now we're back.
Man.
We're back to normal. Yep. And, of course, what are we doing? We're covering our favorite league in the world.
Yep.
That is the Champions League. Cue the Champions League music. And for this episode, for Match Day 1, I wanted to invite on a Milan fan.
Yes.
And a Milan fan that's a friend of mine that does articles for Sempre Milan. Welcome to the episode all the way from India, Rohit Rajeev. How are you doing, Rohit?
I'm fine, Hugh. I'm fine. Back to the Champions League after bloody 7 years.
Yeah!
And how the hell did we actually catch all the eyeballs at Anfield?
Man, I can't believe it. I can't wait to break that game down. I know you're excited. You wrote an amazing tactical breakdown of that game. We will get there in a second. But I say let's just jump right into it. We're going to go through all the groups and just kind of break down where all the teams are ranked so far. And we'll highlight a few games and just kind of quickly share our perspectives and what we thought. There was 16 games, so I don't know. I didn't watch all 16. Booty, I doubt you watched all 16. So.
Every single one. Every single one.
We're going to do our best to get through all these and give you guys the information you're looking for. So, without further ado, let's start off with Sevilla and Salzburg, all the way in Group G. Sevilla and Salzburg ended in a draw. It was his first match for Jesse Marsh is not there. But Sevilla and Salzburg, they tied 1-1. This was a relatively even possession here, 50-50. Shots were 16 for Salzburg, 11 for Sevilla. And when we look on the shots on target, we've got 8 shots on target for Salzburg and 2 for Sevilla. I didn't really get to see much of this, but these two right here are going to have a pretty relatively easy time getting out of this group. I would say these are the two strongest teams in the group. What do you think, Booty?
Sevilla's always that squad we forget about, but they like to hang around. You know, Europa success.
That's right.
It's a team that we're going to see do the same thing here. Like you said, they're going to hang around. We forget they have Rakitic. You know?
Yeah, that's right.
They got some ballers, dude. So it's possible. You know, Suso as well. We've heard his name a couple times throughout the show.
Rohit knows all about Suso.
That's right. I was just about to say,
if anybody's followed me, if anybody's followed me for the past 2 years, I would have mentioned Suso 100 billion times.
I think you did the last time you were on.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. I was so grateful that Sevilla qualified for the Champions League that year because that meant they had to buy Suso from AC Milan. So very grateful that they were able to do that.
I had a mini celebration at home. it was as if AC Milan won the Champions League.
Sevilla's in Champions League. We don't have to buy Suso back. Oh my god. So this should
21 million for that guy.
Hey man, he's having success out there, so good for him. Like we always say, a change of scenery can be a huge...
Actually, Hugh, his numbers are not even better than Samu Kesleo's last year.
Really?
Uh-oh.
It's like Samu had 3 goals and 3 assists, and this guy had like 4 goals and 6 assists or something.
Damn.
Well, he's still starting, so they must like him over there. Lopetegui must have a sweet spot like every other Milan coach that decided to start him. I don't know why. But Sevilla, Salzburg, both getting a point here out of Group G. Looking over to the other match in this group, Lille versus Wolfsburg. That was also a draw 1-1 snooze fest. Didn't see that one. Not too interested in it. We're just going to move right on over to Manchester United and the Young Boys. And that is Group F. Getting F'd. And speaking of F, Booty, what are your thoughts on this Man U Young Boys game? I know you watched this. Would love to hear your thoughts.
Getting F'd by some young boys. Whoa. And we also thought it was going to be the other way around.
We did.
So I
really
deserve
did.
an ass kicking for that. But, story of this game. So, of course, Ronaldo gets on the board again, right? It's really great to see. The big thing was that Juve had this nuclear bomb that didn't know how to push the button.
Yeah, man.
Ronaldo, and we're seeing that come to light here with United because he also scored again today against West Ham.
Go figure.
So what is that? 4 goals, 3 games. So Ronaldo being Ronaldo again, but it's good to see the old Ronaldo back for sure. But
to point out, he's in a new position too.
New position. They're just putting him at that lone striker. They've done that actually every game, if I'm not mistaken. With Bruno right behind him.
Yeah.
It's sex, man.
This is a hot sex formation right here. I like this.
Pogba on the outside too, man.
So it's interesting. For us, it looks like he's on the outside, but really, he's playing more of like a center attacking mid,
flowing back in to the middle.
He's in that half channel, that half zone right now, and then Luke Shaw kind of takes that wide position.
And they tell Fred to just get the fuck out of the way.
Fred, you just stand back behind everybody. Yeah, just get the fuck out the way.
Look pretty, man. Look pretty while you do it. Anyway, man, the story of this game, it's got to be pointed out, unfortunately. Red card to Wan-Bissaka early first half. Late in the first half. Really changed everything about this entire game. After that, Young Boys came at him. They equalized. Got the 1-1, late. And then the very, very late winner. A mistake by our man, dude.
You're gonna stake what?
Big mistake.
By our dude. Yes, fucking Jesse.
Jesse.
And guess who he subbed off? Cristiano.
Yep. So it was a little lazy pass,
Awful.
And you're gonna see. Whenever you see laziness in Champions League, man, it always gets punished. It kind of goes back to what we always say.
Fucking Piotr.
And we're gonna see it when we talk about that Milan Liverpool game, because to me, and I don't mean to jump ahead, but there were 2 minutes where Liverpool played sloppy. AC Milan jumped on it.
Hell yeah!
You play sloppy here, you get fucked. They got fucked by some young boys. And they deserve it. So
there was a great dad joke on the internet. It was like, Manchester United lost to some young boys. What happens when they play some men?
What happens when you play the boys? What happens when you play the men?
So really quick, just breaking down these stats here. Young Boys had 54% possession to Man U's 46, and then Young Boys had 19 shots to Man U's 2. So like you were saying, that red card really changed the aspect of this game. Now, granted, 5 of those shots of the 19 were on target, and 2 for 2 for Man U were on target. So
got to put some of those away.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at shots on target to goals, Man U's got a much better ratio here, but you're not going to win a game with only 2 shots on goal. Wait.
One thing, Hugh.
Why does it say 2-1? Oh, they did win. They equalized and then got the late winner. Sorry, I misspoke earlier.
Yeah.
One thing, Hugh.
Yes.
Yeah. So in any game, there's a fine stat called as expected goals these days. That's used to measure the I mean, it's obviously statistically impossible to measure subjective thing like quality, but something that comes close to quality is expected goals. So expected goals measures the quality of the chances that have been created. So if you look at a team of a defensive coach like Mourinho, he always used to have only one or two chances, but he had more expected goals than the opposition team who may have dominated the possession.
Hmm.
But here, if you're looking at young boys, their expected goals is 1.6, while Manchester United is 0.5. So they
Interesting.
actually created way more quality goal scoring chances than what Manchester United did. And obviously, when you create a lot more clear goal scoring opportunities, your chances of winning are more. And that's something that a lot of Manchester United fans will be really worried about in terms of their coach or Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I mean, he's been at the helm for like 3 seasons, and now they've got every player in place. They got Sancho, they've got Cristiano Ronaldo, and I mean they got Varane. So now actually they actually have no. They have nothing to complain about now. I mean, they got all the pieces they required in this transfer market, but still they're actually lagging behind a team from Switzerland. So I think this is gonna be really worrying for the Manchester United fans. Even today, I didn't watch the Manchester United game as much, but they actually looked a little behind West Ham United in terms of their play
Hmm.
because Solskjaer actually prefers to play a bit more deep and then rely on counter attacks coming from Bruno Fernandes, who's the. I mean, he actually relies on a lot of. I mean, Solskjaer actually relies a lot on individual brilliance from Bruno Fernandes because Cristiano is not the player he was in 2007. So he's an actually great finisher, and like Budi said, Cristiano is like that really great player that Juventus couldn't use. So same way, Ole is trying to make Cristiano as a finisher while Bruno gives him the chances. But it's actually not enough. They're not creating enough chances. They're not creating quality chances. So that's going to be a really worrisome thing for any United fan.
Rohit, I would be inclined to agree. My one counterpoint to that is that Man U did have a red card in the 35th minute. So this game is, while I agree they didn't create enough chances, I'm wondering if that red card might have impacted their chances created. I'm tempted to see the game from today because, like you were saying, you know, they have all these attacking weapons. Their chances created should be extremely high. Looking at the squad total, and this is for, let's see, Premier League 2021-2022. It looks like they have a 5.8 in Premier League. So I really think, while I agree they should be criticized for a 0.5 goal chances created, I think we need to give them a little bit of a break here. Because I think if they have 11 players, this does not end in a young boys win. I think we can all agree there. Because Wan-Bissaka is, while he is a reckless player and he likes to sleep around with a lot of women, he is a dangerous player down that right wing. You know, he has the speed and capability. So I totally agree. You're not going to win a game with 0.5 chances created, but I think we kind of get to give them a little bit of a break here because of that red card. And I didn't really see the red card, but was it deserved?
It's controversial.
It is
You
a
go take a look at it.
controversial?
So
Okay.
I mean, okay, so it's a cleats up.
It's a cleats
It's
up.
a cleats up,
I mean, it's hard to.
but he's also it's not a slide in cleats up. He's
Oh, he's
more
lunging?
going for it. Yeah. So I
He's
mean,
lunging. Okay.
Hugh, did you watch the tackle that Bakayoko made on Acerbi in the Lazio game?
Yes.
The one he got a yellow card. That's somewhat similar to what Wan Bissaka did.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think this is open to interpretation.
Right.
So, like you said, it's very subjective. Personally, for me, I think that was very harsh. I think that was a yellow card because Van Bissaka actually did not make that. He did not lunge for it. He just went for the ball, and he went cleats up on the player. Yellow card is fine, but red card is very, very harsh for me.
Yeah, it's one of
A
those
clear red
ones.
card for me would have been the one that Granit Xhaka got against Manchester City a couple of weeks back. That was a clear. He actually went two-footed on the
2
player.
feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
I mean, he made a complete ass of himself.
Yeah.
But this one, I think he actually Van Bissaka went for the ball, and the ball actually he got a touch of the ball, but he ended up going on the player's foot. But it's a uh, I think it's subject to interpretation.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if that ref was trying to even the stakes out here by giving that red card.
That's exactly what I was going to
this-
say, man.
You were? Yeah.
Because I mean, it's tough on the ref because hey, 35th minute, I say you give the yellow, we have a talk.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
But also, you don't want to let that tension build. So it's like, do you want to nip this in the bud now?
Mm.
But I hate when refs nip it in the
Change
bud
the
now, and it's so early.
Yeah.
And you've changed everything about
Change
the whole
everything.
game, man.
Because what happens immediately after that red card, Jadon Sancho gets subbed out and Diogo
Yeah.
Dallo gets subbed in. It's like,
You're taking away one of those attackers
holy
that
shit,
we were just
doing?
talking about.
Yeah, it's
you know?
like that's chances created right there. He
Yep.
probably gets 2 to 3 chances created a game, just taking a wild guess.
And then putting Varane in because you're like, well, shit, we got to honker back now. You know,
Right.
That's tough. That's tough. I could agree with you 100%, though. I think we don't see the red card. I think United comes out. But,
100%.
but yeah,
We're
it's
going to
tough,
see
man.
the rematch in Manchester United, and I
Yeah.
have a feeling it's going to be a much different scoreline here.
Yeah.
They're going to dominate the ball. They're going to dominate chances created, and they're going to walk out of there with their heads held high. But let's keep moving on here. Also in this group, we have got Villarreal and Atalanta, who ended their match in a draw. Villarreal, if I remember correctly, won Europa League last year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that earned them this spot right here in this group. Just kind of quickly going over possession and shots. It was a relatively even possession with 52 to 48. Atalanta having the majority of the possession, and shots were 14 to 13. Villarreal having edged one over. Now looking at shots on target, Villarreal had 7 to Atalanta's 4. Rohit, did you happen to catch this one? Or was
No.
this? Yeah, I don't think anybody watched this. But looking at these go ahead.
It was beyond my bedtime.
Not worth staying up for this one. I totally agree. But looking at this heat map here, it does look like Atalanta pushed high like they usually do. As Gunnar Mike says, throwing numbers forward with no regard. Interestingly enough, the formation here. Oh no, it's typical 3-4-2-1. This is
Can you draw up that heat map again?
the heat
Please?
map. Sure. Yep.
That right side.
Yeah, that right side looks like they really went down that right side.
So who actually played on the right side? Number 7.
I'll give you there. One.
Sapacosta.
Zappacosta.
Sapacosta. Yeah. So usually under the old Gasparini teams,
Mhm.
they actually prefer the left side with Gosens and who used to play with this guy Papu Gomez. But since Papu Gomez left and Pessina came in, Pessina is not a creative player like is not a creative player like Papu Gomez. Yeah, so you can see. I think they're preferring to use Hattabor or even now it's Sapacosta, Hattabor or Sapacosta to attack more on the right side through
Yeah.
the right side. And I think they've used Malinovsky as well as a lot. He's
think
also
you-
on the right.
Yeah, I think you're right. And looking at this average player positions, the middle of the field is wide open. It looks like they did their best to switch the ball and drive down these outer flanks. And that's what you do typically when you have a 3-man back. That means you've got those wide outside wing backs that can really fly up and down those wings. And Zappacosta and I believe you said Gosens was the other player on the opposite wing back. Who both of those players are quality wing backs. So
Can you drop that average position again?
1 second. So it was Gosens. Okay, I'm gonna pull up the average positions again.
Yeah, he got himself a score here.
Gosens,
Yeah.
good for him.
Yeah.
All right. It looks like they did attack down the right and left evenly, but the majority of the touches were on the right side, as we saw in that heat map. But looking at
So
go ahead, Rohit.
Gasparini's tactics are very Very simple. This number 11 and number 15. That's Martin Darun and Remo Freuler. Their job is to press. Their job is to press and win the ball back. And number 32, that's Pessina. Pessina actually joins the press in terms of. So, if let's say, for example, the opposite team attacked from their right, let's say so number 32, that's Pessina, would join Remo, Freuler, and Martin Gosens to defend. But if the team is attacking from the opposite end, Pessina would join number 15, that's Martin Darun, to actually block that side. So the main tactic in terms the main attacking principle for Gasparini is to create a numerical advantage on each wing side. So he actually has three zones, and that three zones is the one that you drew up a bit earlier, where you said 40% down the left and 40% down the right. Can you show that?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, this one, this graphic. So you see they actually have three zones. That's something that even Papu Gomez even said. They actually have three zones. The middle, they actually do not care much for the middle. It's either through the left or the right where they create. So let's say that they would actually pull up Gosens, Pessina, Zapata, and maybe even the left center back. That's Jim City or Toloi. So there'll be four players on the right side. Even Freuler would join them. So that would be five people. So it would be a five versus four. So it's like playing like you said earlier, when Manchester United had one man down, the opposite team had an advantage. Here, the coach is creating a numerical advantage on one side of the wing. So when you have one side of the wing, when you have an advantage on one side of the wing, you're having more chances to create. Or let's say the opposition coach actually wises up and makes it a five versus five, and he's actually committing more people towards that particular flank. So let's say if Atalanta is attacking towards through the left, and the opposition coach puts six players there, they would quickly switch from the left to the right wing, and then they would have clear field on the right wing, and they could attack through the right, and the right wing back could actually cross, or he could shoot himself. So that's a very very clever style of play from Gasparini.
Yeah, and we've seen him just always have so much success in Serie A and Champions League with his crazy, simple style of play. And, I mean, you broke it down beautifully. It's all about using the outside flanks, and what better formation to attack the outside flanks than with a three-man backline, where you can get those outer wingbacks pushed far wide, and, like you said, just continue to switch the ball back and forth until you can find that space and bring it down that wing. I'm going to pull up the expected goals. For those that listen who know I'm a Who Scored Slut, Rohit just introduced us to a website called FB Ref, where it shows some really in-depth stats. And as Rohit said earlier, expected goals is a very important stat to remember. And looking at Atalanta for Champions League, they had a 1.2 expected goals to Villarreal's 2.1. So this game could have ended in Villarreal's favor, but Atalanta were able to keep it as a draw here. So interesting results for that group. I believe that was group G. Everyone is tied with 1 point. 1 goal scored, 1 goal scored against. So it is literally a deadlock for.
You talking about Villarreal and Atalanta?
Oh, wow, I'm in the wrong group. Thank you. Group F.
It's all right.
Yes, so not a deadlock. Those two are going to be fighting it out for second place right now. Thank you for correcting me. I was looking at the wrong group there.
We're getting effed.
We're getting effed. But let's move on over. We've got way more games to talk about that are way more important than those two. Let's move on over to the group with Bayern Munich and Barcelona. Bayern Munich again dominating Barcelona with a score of 3-0. Sorry. This is Group E. Bayern Munich just
being Bayern Munich.
I will say Coman is
Oh,
trying
man.
way too hard here. I looked at this formation before the game and it was a total head scratcher. A 3-1-4-2. I don't think I've ever seen this. Now you could argue it's a 3-5-2, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know why. And this goes into a really good buddy of mine says that Dutch coaches are very arrogant, and that they love to show off, or at least give you the impression that they're so much more tactically superior. And I have a feeling Koeman is trying to act tactically superior, saying, we don't play a 3-5-2, it's a 3-1-4-2. It's like, dude, shut up. It's a 3-5-2. Why are you making this complicated?
My man playing career mode on amateur, okay?
I
he
mean,
needs to chill out.
What are you doing? And then, of course, Nagelsmann continuing my favorite formation that we saw Flick use, the 4-2-3-1. It works. It still works. They got the result, 3-0. Could have easily been more.
No, you mean Nagelsmann now?
Nagelsmann. What did
yeah.
I say?
Flick.
But
it's okay because Flick just took
Flick,
that and just took it to Germany.
Yeah,
took it to the
it's
national
like,
team.
geez, this
It's the
is...
same shit. You're still right.
Yeah. I don't know what to expect. There was a funny quote that Koeman said, Atletico Madrid can give me all of the credit when they win La Liga for giving them Suarez and Griezmann.
Oh, God, yeah. You just
I
gave
want
it
all
to
that
him.
credit. It's like,
You just gave
you
him to him.
fucking asshole.
Motherfucker, you forced Suarez out the door.
Why don't you
Get
take
outta here.
credit for Barcelona failing first?
Bro.
Jeez, 'em.
Dude, two things about this match, man.
Go ahead.
Two things.
One thing that Hugh said reminded me of a story. I read a while back. So there were two types of coaches, even from the Dutch academy. One was Cruyff, and the other was Louis van Gaal. So Cruyff was the one who built the dream team, the Barcelona, the arrogant thing that you was mentioning. There was this famous story that before the '94 final, that is AC Milan versus Barcelona, the Barcelona players kissed the trophy as if they already won it even before a single ball was kicked in. And then that's when we went on to thrash them 4-0, and it was the biggest humiliating defeat in Cruyff's life and all of that, blah, blah, blah. So I was reading about Cruyff and the different philosophies of Cruyff and Van Gaal. So Cruyff was the one who coached Koeman as well, so I can understand where he gets his attitude from. Cruyff actually promoted a lot of individualism within his squad. He actually wanted players to think for themselves, and he actually wanted players to come out with their individual ideas and analysis and challenge the coach and stuff like that. And in the end, it turned out to be his own downfall. Then you have Van Gaal, who's on the opposite side of the spectrum, where he did not like. Let's say he had a player who had a lot of flair. He used he if a player actually beat one opponent, two opponent, he wants his player to pass the ball. Right? You beat two players, you pass the ball. You do not keep it with you. But there was this player at Ajax. I don't remember I don't remember his name. He tried to do a Maradona where he actually tried to beat the whole team and score, but he couldn't. And the next thing he knew was that he got subbed off the pitch because Van Gaal does not promote individualism. He wants his team to play as a system. So I think since Coleman actually comes from this different school of thought of Cruyff, where he likes individualism and he has his arrogance that he's some sort of superior footballing thing, and his total football is better than the Catenaccio that Capello played in that 4-0 defeat. It's that I think that's where his downfall comes from. And one thing that everybody speaks about Koeman is that he's a very poor man manager. He actually has no compassion towards his players.
We've seen it.
He has his select players. He has his select players that he chooses, and if whatever if a player does not fall within his group, whatever that player does, he would not select him in that team. So Coman is a very huge stupid decision by the previous Barcelona president to appoint him, but I think it was a money saving thing for them since they recorded around 480 million losses last season.
Hmm.
That's like a half a billion. That's like a half a billion euros of losses. I don't know how any team can kind of come back, recover from that. So I think that's the end of their cycle. They've lost their best player. They lost a lot of money. So right now, I think this is actually what's gonna come. is actually something that's going to show what's going to happen to Barcelona. They're going to have a few lean years now.
Yeah, and I want to just add on to that before we get to Booty. You had 2 points.
Okay, go ahead.
But
Go
just
ahead.
real quick to what you were saying, Rohit. This game, from what I saw, Barcelona had zero identity. There was nothing that I could say, oh, yeah, this was Barcelona's play style.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's spot on what you said. Everything that they've been doing, the appointment of Koeman, the loss of Messi, the $500 million, they've just lost who they are as a club.
Yeah.
What were your 2 thoughts that you had from this?
Was gonna piggyback all exactly on what you said, man.
It's
You wanna-
so obvious, right?
If you even go back to the arrogance that we're talking about that this man has, like it's like he's like ignoring the problems.
Yeah.
Completely, because
Yeah.
I can tell you one problem. This is one of the points
Mhm.
I was gonna say about this match, dude.
Go
The
ahead.
back line is fucking terrible.
Ooh.
It's fucking terrible, dude.
Yikes.
PK looks old as fuck.
Yeah.
All right, he gave him the third goal, by the way.
Really?
If you want to go take a look.
Okay. Let's pull it up. I'll pull it up. Keep
The,
talking.
the other point I was going to make is Bayern being Bayern, like we said.
Mm.
High intensity, high
Mm.
pressing.
Mm.
At certain points, you can count 8 to 9 players in that final third, right?
Mm.
Alphonso Davies is back looking like Alphonso Davies, right?
God damn.
Pushing up, making plays, creating chances, and they're just sitting there. And there were times, dude, where they're looking at each other.
Mhm.
And you know, like as a defender, that's never good when you see these guys turn and they're just all looking at each other like they don't know what the fuck's
Is
going
that
on.
you? Is that me?
Yep.
It's like Night at the Roxbury.
Night at the
You,
Roxbury.
me,
Yep.
me, you.
You, me, yeah. PK gives this man the last one because Bayern has possession, top of the box. They're playing around with it. They're literally toying with him, right? PK just does this dive where he completely gives himself
I
up.
saw that.
Yeah, gives himself up, and at that point, it's 1-on-1.
Mm.
And Neuer actually got into it with PK, saying, "Dude, why are you diving? Like, if you just kept in front of him, we could have gotten some reinforcements." And then, of course, after the goal is scored, they're doing exactly what we're talking about. They're looking around. They're looking at each other. Like, yeah, that was your guy. No, yeah, that was okay. Cool. We're completely on different pages, different fucking novels, man. Like, not even the same book that these guys are on. Look, there it is. Like,
Yeah, you're in
come
like
on, bro.
you're on
Stay
the
in front of him.
you're on the PK spot too.
Just stay in front of him. That's all you had to do.
Yeah.
So, man, it's an identity thing, like you said. A little combination of the arrogance that your coach has. Yeah, you're like, what is that?
I get what he
Who's
was trying
that?
to do. He's trying to like create
Right.
a wall in front of the shot, but when you go up against Lewandowski, he's gonna see right through that.
Yeah.
You know.
And literally
Um,
sidestep you and just have
yeah.
a one-on-one. And come on, you gotta know those things, man.
This reminds me of that famous quote Maldini said. You know, if I have to slide tackle, I've already lost as a defender.
Yeah.
You need to stay on your feet. I always remind kids, the moment you slide tackle, you remove yourself from the game.
Correct.
You're off your feet. You're on the ground.
It's got to be a last resort.
Yeah, it's a last resort.
And that's not a last resort right there.
No,
You got
it's
to stay
not.
up.
One thing I do want to point out also about Bayern
Yeah, go ahead.
is the start of Musiala, who had a really solid game. He hit the post that led to the first goal, I believe.
Yep.
And then we're also seeing Upamecano's first start as a Bayern Munich player in
did very
Champions
well.
League,
Almost,
who
uh,
also did very well.
Second highest rated player.
So, you know, we were criticizing him a lot last year when he was on Leipzig. And I think they played Liverpool and was just getting absolutely abused on that backline. I think he's more of a four-man backline type of player. We saw him a lot with a three-man backline type of player at Leipzig. So, really impressive start from Bayern Munich. Did we honestly expect anything different?
No.
No. Maybe Depay was going to show us something.
Where's Aguero?
That's a great question.
You know, this other big signing that they couldn't stop talking about.
Yeah. I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe Koeman, maybe there's something that Koeman got into like a little locker room fight with, and we're not going to see
Talk about
Aguero,
it ever.
you know?
Right?
And, to add on to what Rohit was saying about these two coaches, both coaches were so arrogant. They believed that their style was the only correct style to work. Yet both coaches saw success with their style as well as failures.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show the arrogance from those two coaches. You know, there is no right way to coach a team. The only way that's right is whether or not you win.
Yeah.
And it's really like neither of them. That was always like a big drama history line. Not history. A big headline in the media was that Van Gaal and Cruyff could never see eye to eye. And it was their arrogance that got in the way of those two speaking to each other and just hearing the other guy out. Like, you know what? I want to hear why you think your system works the best. Like, no, it was just immediately, mine's better. I don't want to hear it. And it's like, that's not going to lead to progress.
No.
Having a closed mind in any aspect of life is
Right.
going to not lead to progress. So this whole Barcelona situation is going to be a lot of fun to watch.
It's kind of funny.
We shall see what happens because, again, they lost $500 million roughly last year, and they're still $1 billion in debt. So how do you plan on building to the future? It's got to be the youth academy.
It's not dollars. It's euros.
Well, either it's a $500 million, euros. You're once you get into the $500 million, it doesn't matter what currency you use. $500 million of euros, dollars, pounds,
Bananas.
It's still a shitload of money that you've lost. So,
Yeah.
you're right, Rohit. But regardless, it's a lot of money. So it's going to be hard for Barcelona to bounce back. They are starting this group on the bottom, and Benfica and Dynamo Kiev pulled out a draw and are now chasing second and third. So, hot take: does Barcelona actually
Europa?
Do they get to Europa, or do they? Can they pull off a win versus Dynamo and Benfica? We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yikes.
But Group E, Bayern Munich looks to be winning every single one of those games. I wouldn't expect anything less. The final group for Tuesday, September 14th, is the group with Chelsea, Zenit, Malmo, and Juventus. I believe that's Group H.
Yeah.
Let me get to Group H. There it is, Group H. Footy, why don't you start us off with Juve versus Malmo?
Oh, boy. Yeah, Juve plays some children. Big win. First win of the year, actually. Definitely needed that because not looking too hot in that domestic league. Maybe it'll turn around today. They play some club you might know. I don't know.
Yeah.
You guys know. You
What's
guys
up, Milan?
know. You guys know. Fun stuff. The thing I'm going to point out just real quick, the guys who we overlook all the time, Murata, he always gets the little sneaky little tap-ins. Got one, Dybala was looking good. He had a couple chances as well. Easy to forget about him because, for some reason he's just kind of been on the back burner over there,
Wrong coaches.
Wrong coaches, exactly. So he's back with Maximiliano. It's he knows how to use this man. It's looking that way. So that was good to see him back and see him doing his thing. So that was fun. I'm trying to think who was the other one.
I got you.
Who looked pretty decent in that game. Of course, Locatelli is still looking amazing, man. It's fun. It's fun to watch with him.
God, he's so good.
Him and Bentancur just look like a great pairing together as far as creating chances and just knowing where to be in the right spots all the time, man. So it's always fun.
Look at that.
Expected 3 goals, got 3 goals. Sexy stuff, man. We did see De Ligt pick up a card. I kind of like it, though, because he's playing aggressive. It's okay. We just need to be a little careful. But the man that nobody ever talks about is Cuadrado. We like to bring him up.
Dude, he's been on fire lately.
He's the guy you could literally stick anywhere you want. As we said in the past, Chelsea used to stick him up top.
Yeah,
back in the day.
Right.
He could play anywhere. So he's always fun. He's always a little utility guy.
He's dangerous, man. He's
really
always
is.
fucking dangerous.
And also, they kept the ball out of anywhere near Szczesny, so I'm very happy about that. So
Poor Szczesny, man. He's having a rough year.
for real, dude.
He is having a rough year. Perin, Matteo Perin, the backup,
Yeah,
he is just licking his lips
young dude.
to get in there. He's like, younger, yeah. Szczesny, for some reason, always just like, he's capable of just being shaky in the back.
Yeah, no, he makes me nervous, man. He just makes me fucking nervous.
Wow. He just doesn't instill confidence in me as a keeper.
Mm-mm.
Like Mike Mannion from AC Milan,
Mm-hmm.
I have the utmost confidence in him. We've seen 3 or 4 games from him in AC Milan.
Blocked
After
the PK
that-
this.
fucking
match.
blocked Mohamed
Yeah.
Salah's PK.
Yeah,
Can't wait to talk about that game.
yeah.
But Juve here getting these 3 goals and 3 points. They dominated possession here, 60% to 40. They also dominated shots, getting 16 shots to 9, 8 of those on target. So they were 50% of shots on target to shots total, scoring 3 goals. Malmo, thanks for playing. See you next year, maybe. I don't know. This is going to be a rough group for you because let's move on over to this other game. Actually, Rohit, do you have anything you want to add to Malmo and Juve?
Just that Juve suck. That's all.
Of course.
Spoken like a true Milan fan. I always love that. Moving
No, I
on
mean,
over. Go ahead.
yeah, sorry. I
It's all right.
think that Quadrado has been a very underrated player for Juventus
Definitely.
since a long time. I think under Allegri's last tenure, he was that he was that knight in not a knight in shining armor. I think he was this trump card. I think he was a trump card of Juventus, where he would actually come in and through his pace and his work rate, he would actually play even as a right back or a right wing back or a right wing, and he can actually create something when nothing was going on for Juventus. So that's one thing that worked for Juventus a lot. But I think what's going to be shaky for Juventus, especially when we have a game in almost 2 hours, are I think their attack is still very shaky, and as much as Chesney has been a bit off form in the last 3 4 months, uh, I still think he's a good keeper, and Mattia Perin is also a great keeper, but he's made of glass. He's been injured a long time. They tried resurrecting his career twice, thrice. Nothing going for him. So they have a very precarious situation with a goalkeeper. The defense is okay with Delit and Bonucci. Uh, I think they may have an issue or two at fullback, but they're still their attack is the main problem. But since in Milan also has their own injury issues, I think it's going to be a good match. But adding to the Champions League match, I think Malmo was not even a threat to Juventus. It was always a good match.
Yeah. Spot on. Like you said, can't wait for the match today. This is going to be exciting. Both teams have their own struggles, which should make this a very exciting game. Let's move on over to the other side of this group, Chelsea versus Zenit. Kind of a shocking result here. I expected Chelsea to dominate, but go figure, they got another clean sheet. You know how Chelsea loves those clean sheets. And the man to get on the scoreboard was our boy, Big Romelu Lukaku, who is really having a lot of success at the beginning of the season for Chelsea. They came out with a 3-4-3. Tuchel loves that three-man back over at Chelsea. Rudiger had a really good game. I saw him get forward and almost have like a Zuma type of run. I don't know if you remember when Zuma had that crazy run and then just skied the shot into the crowd. It was like a couple of years ago. Rudiger came in, almost made the exact same run, and actually had like a decent shot. And they're like, look, this is where we were. This is where we've come. So, Chelsea dominated possession here, 66-34, and had 11 total shots to Zenit 6, with both teams having 2 on target. Chelsea putting theirs away with a Lukaku goal. And I'm trying to remember the goal. I'm pretty sure... Man, I can't remember that goal.
I can't either.
It was pretty late.
It was a 69.
So 69.
69.
Hey.
I'm pretty sure it was a tap-in for Lukaku. If I remember correctly, Azpilicueta somehow got down to the wing, switched it in, and Lukaku was just waiting for it, knocked it in, easy goal. But Zenit, really impressed with this because this game was in Stamford Bridge, and the fact that Chelsea only won 1-0, it's kind of scary. A lot of Chelsea fans were very proud about this win, but it's like, it's Zenit, y'all.
You should at least got 2.
Yeah, I mean,
The least.
I guess you kept the clean sheet, so that's all that matters here as far as goals away and goals scored. But this group is going to be pretty locked up right here. Chelsea and Juve both getting 3 points. Zenit and Malmo with 0.
What was the expected goals for Chelsea on this one?
Let's check that out.
Just
That's a good
curious.
question.
Yeah.
This is an interesting team now because they had Werner, right? And everyone's like, oh, Werner's the 9. Werner's the 9. It's like, is he though? Is he a 9? He's not a true 9 for me. Now you got Lukaku. Does Werner even see the field? I don't think you even put Werner in unless you're like subbing him in for...
I don't know what he is anymore, man.
It's so weird. Such a weird player. Looking over at the expected goals for Chelsea in the Champions League, yikes, a 0.9.
Okay.
And their opponent had a 0.8. So makes you wonder what Tuchel was doing there.
Yeah.
You got the players.
Maybe Zenit's better than we think.
Could be.
Yeah.
They do really well in the Russian league.
Russia.
They also had a 5-man back. So it makes you wonder if they're like, we're just going to sit back and let you guys kind of come at us and we'll do our best.
Putin's going to have a talk with him. Things will change.
Putin.
Zenit is actually run by one of the richest man in Russia, as well as I think it's government funded as well.
Really? Government funded?
Yeah. There is rumors that Putin is behind this. I don't know. I don't get into politics.
It's Putin's little pet project.
Yeah, it could be. So there's that team that played PSG long back in Istanbul, Baskishehir or something like that. They're run by President Erdogan himself, the Turkey's prime minister, like that. I heard that Putin's behind Zenit. They actually have some good players like Malcolm and Serdar Asmoon, who I think you may know since he was linked to Milan like 2 months back. They actually have good players. They had Hulk a few years back. They had Axel Witsel as well.
Oh, Zuba.
Wow.
So there's actually a good team.
Hulk actually played there for a little bit.
Yeah, they actually had Mancini and Mancini as their coach. They even won the Russian Premier League. They had even Spalletti also a few years back.
Yeah, when you got someone like Putin pulling the strings behind the scene, I'm sure he can get whoever he wants back in there.
Pumping him full HGH, baby.
And go figure. I'm just looking. I was curious. They've got 4 Brazilians in the starting lineup.
Wait, didn't Malcolm used to be at?
Malcolm has to be one of them.
Yeah, Malcolm is one of them.
Was he at Shakhtar for a minute?
Malcolm?
Yeah.
I knew he was at Barcelona.
Okay. Yeah.
Malcolm started out at Bordeaux, then he went to Barcelona. I mean, he actually had a verbal agreement with Roma, but then he like kind of rejected Roma and went to Barcelona.
Okay.
Then he went from Barcelona to Zenit.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember seeing him somewhere. I couldn't put my finger on where it was.
We actually, I think, like you said, Rohit, I think we were linked to Malcolm for a little bit, but I think his price tag is just too much for us.
Yeah.
So,
I was actually secretly hoping we were linked to him again, but he has a very bad injury history again.
That's no bueno. Let's move on over to Wednesday. Let me pull up Wednesday. I've got this. Uh-oh. Easy there, computer.
Easy.
We're going to pull up Wednesday. This one had a lot more excitement, in my opinion. Let's start with Group Borussia Dortmund. I don't know the name of the group.
Woo!
This is Group C. C.
AKA Group C.
Group C. We've got Besiktas. Nope. Wait. Besiktas, Ajax, Borussia Dortmund, and Sporting. Going over to... Hold on. I got way too many tabs. Besiktas and Dortmund. This was an interesting game. I got to see a little bit of this game. Jude Bellingham with a awesome goal.
Yes.
Man, love to see him get on the score sheet. Erling Haaland, of course, getting on the score sheet as well. I thought he was going to get a hat trick this game. I was shocked that he only got 1 goal, but Besiktas actually had the majority of the possession with 58-42. But Dortmund had 14 shots to Besiktas' 12, with 7 of their 14 on target. This was the typical win for Dortmund. I didn't expect anything else as long as, there were no red cards or whatever. Besiktas did put up a fight. Pjanic is over there. Batshuayi is over there. They've got some sneaky players that I did not know were over there.
Yeah.
So
the Batman.
Definitely, this is a group Besiktas can definitely at least get to Europa if they're smart and play their own game here. I expect Dortmund. I didn't really watch this game in full, but from what I saw, Bellingham was fantastic. He is really living up to all the hype. He is going to be sold very soon.
Yeah.
So
it's something too, man.
What's that?
I'm starting to see. We mentioned it before with Haaland, where we want to see a little bit more than just goals. We want to see him kind of open that next level to his game up. You're starting to see that a little bit. I really feel like it. He's got really good vision. He had really good vision in this game. Now again, it's Besiktas, but hey, if you go take a look at the highlights, man, he's starting to look up and find find other options other than just let me look up, just shoot,
Yeah.
So you're starting to see that a little bit more with him, so that's kind of fun. But Pjanic, going back to him really quick, just a little fun fact. That was a last-minute thing where he ended up there because
No shit.
Allegri actually wanted to bring him back
Wow.
to Juve, but they went and got Locatelli, so, I mean, there wasn't
Sorry.
really that.
Yeah.
Right, I'd take Locatelli from him.
Oh, 100% I'm taking Locatelli.
Yeah.
You don't need another metronome in the field. You need someone who's going to take risks and put the ball forward.
Yeah.
Pjanic is, from what I remember, just left, right, back.
Yeah, it's
left, right, back.
Possession guy.
Yeah, just hold the ball.
That's it.
You need. I don't want to get too far into it, but Juve had been missing a midfielder like Locatelli, who's willing to take risks and put the ball over the top, but also have the quality and capability to do it. So he's so much fun to watch.
Absolutely.
I have no doubt in my mind that if he was there when Ronaldo was there, it would have been a much different situation, and I think they would have done a lot better because that's what they were missing.
Yeah.
Ronaldo is so used to having this world-class midfield at Real Madrid, getting him that ball.
Getting the ball, dude.
It was just such a struggle to connect that midfield line to the forward line.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime Ronaldo got the ball, he's like, all right, I got this. I'll create my own shots. Like, fuck you guys. And he did, and he was, like you said, he was a nuclear bomb. He was pushing his own button.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? But anyway, moving on to the other half of this group, we've got Sporting versus Ajax. And boy, do we love Ajax here on the Footy Fetish.
Tadic, Anthony, and then your boys. Tell them all about it,
Sebastian Aller.
Yes.
Who is popping onto the scene with 4 goals. He is just on form. We mentioned him during our live draft, and I gave little brothers a little hint there. It's like, somebody should go get this guy, and you're welcome, brothers. I'll pull up that clip for you, don't worry. But he finished the game with a perfect 10. Love seeing Ajax with a 4-2-3-1. This is a Erik ten Hag coach team. This goes back into that plug-and-play system that Ajax has. It doesn't matter who is there. They just play beautiful football.
Gravenberch is another one.
Boy. Oh, yes. Gravenberch. He's a youngster, an 18-year-old. He is a very promising player. There are a lot of, we could go all day about Ajax's youngsters. Anthony, he's 20. Gravenberch, he's 19.
Is Blind the oldest one there now?
I believe Blind is the old. Oh, you know who's the oldest?
26 or something.
Stecklenburg is 38. He's a goalkeeper.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, he actually pulled a hammy, so he was out, and they subbed in this other guy who actually looked really shaky.
Had an error.
And who?
Yeah, he had an error. Look at that.
Oh yeah, he did. When you saw the goal, you're like, yikes. He looked shaky. Stecklenburg is the Dutch keeper.
Yeah.
Keeper.
Yeah.
Another youngster to keep an eye on is Jurien Timber, the center back over here. He is he's a ball carrying center back who has got the quality to dribble and beat players, but also he's a phenomenal defender. He had a really good game as well. Timber. And they also subbed in some youngsters. Devin Wrench. I'm not going to save these names.
Because why not? Let's sub in more youngsters for youngsters.
Anthony having a great game. He was very instrumental for Aller's goals going forward. He was just such a threat down that right flank. He is a lefty, so you love seeing that left-footed player drive down that right, cutting in, doing that very messy, Robin-esque type of goal scoring, cutting in, shooting with that inside foot. And then, when Anthony gets tired, who do you sub in? Fucking David Neres. It's like player for player, right? What a squad this Ajax team has. Unfortunately for Sporting, they could not figure it out going forward. They only had 1 goal by Paulinho, who is a really solid striker out in Portugal. They were at home too, so this hurts. This is Sporting's first time back in the Champions League in a long time, and they got absolutely embarrassed. So hopefully moving forward, they do okay. I like the colors of Sporting. I like their history with Cristiano. And they won the Portuguese league very easily last year, which helped them get into the Champions League. But it will be a tough hill to climb, but this is the group to do it. You got Ajax, Borussia, Besiktas, and Sporting. So anything is possible in Group C. Rohit, I'm not sure if you watched any of Group C. Do you have any thoughts you want to share about Dortmund or Ajax or any of these other teams here?
So back at Frankfurt, when Niko Kovac was a coach, he had a 3-4-1-2, and the Trequartista was Rebic, and the strike the second striker was Jovic, and the main number nine was Seb Holler,
No
and
shit. Okay.
yeah. So I mean that was the season there where Frankfurt actually overachieved and they beat Bayern in the Pokal, and Niko Kovac went to Bayern, Rebic went to AC Milan, Jovic went to Real Madrid, and Seb Holler went to West Ham.
Hmm.
Niko Kovac flopped at Bayern. Rebic was a hit at Milan. Holler was yeah.
Yeah.
But somebody should tell him that there are two. I mean there are two halves in a season, not just the second half. I mean he always goes missing in the first half. But he's been on form for us this first half.
hmm
Seb Holler was this guy who actually would, if he would actually act as the number nine, and he would draw the defenders out and create space for Jovic to play. So Jovic actually overestimated himself, and he thought he could be the sole striker at Real Madrid and play behind this legendary guy called Karim Benzema. But Jovic has been anything but great, and his 60 million value looks like real shit transfer.
Yeah.
And yeah, so he tried coming back, but he flopped again because he's not able to play in a lone striker system at Frankfurt.
Hmm.
So Holler was the single 20 million transfer last winter as well. No, I don't remember a single transfer that went about 20 million other than Seb Holler, who went from West Ham to Ajax last season. And man, Ajax know their business. They're actually really good at transfers. I think we should even give a mention to Tadic, where AC Milan actually tried to take him as well. This guy can play anywhere in the front three.
Spot
He's
on.
really wonderful.
Yep.
I actually tried to kind of do a little bit research of what Ajax do in their academy. One big thing that something that Ajax has in their favor is the talent that the country itself has in Dutch, but they have something called the tips. The tips is an acronym where they have talent, intelligence, position, something like that. It's an acronym. They actually follow that in their academy, and only these guys can. Only those who, yeah. I think he was already searching for it.
Yeah, I had to. Tips Model
Yeah, the
Development
tips
by the
model.
Ajax Academy stands for Technique, Insight, Personality, and Speed. Whoa.
Yeah. This is the thing.
Whoa. Oh,
Wow.
you just took away my entire Sunday, man. I'm going to be reading into this all day. I did not know that. So
Yeah.
where did you hear about this?
So I was researching for an article on how to improve AC Milan's youth side. So I wanted to kind of take some notes from what Ajax and what Salzburg and Leipzig do for
Hmm.
their. I think Salzburg is also a pretty underrated academy. You have Sadio Mane, Naby Keita, Karim Adeyemi.
Werner, Upamecano. Yeah.
Werner, no, not Werner.
Yeah, I think Werner
Upamecano.
was there. Salzburg?
No. So Werner was from VFL Bochum or something like that.
Oh.
They
Wasn't he
bought
at
him.
an
They bought
RB?
him.
He was at an RB team, though, right?
He was at Leipzig.
Oh, okay. So,
He was at
gotcha.
Leipzig.
Yeah, Leipzig. Okay.
Salzburg has Sander Berger, Holland, the guy who
Holland.
Patson Daka who plays for Leicester City,
Yep.
Mane, Naby Keita, Konate,
Salzburg.
Upamecano. So many guys, so many
Yeah.
guys.
Wow, that's a
Oh,
good
and,
point.
and it's also an academy for coaches as well. You have Jesse Marsh, then you have Rose, who's the current manager at Dortmund. Marco Rose is the current.
Wow.
So I mean, I was doing a little bit of research on these clubs. So that's when I hit upon this tips model thing.
Very cool. I'm going to be researching this like crazy. I love seeing stuff like this.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Makes a lot of sense too.
Yeah,
You see it,
fuck.
because you see it every single time these guys step on the field, man.
Yeah, and I mean, you look back at Ajax's the youth products that Ajax has produced.
Yeah.
My favorite one, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, has probably one of his greatest goals wearing an Ajax jersey. Luis Suarez was also from Ajax. Wesley Sneijder was at Ajax.
Yeah.
You know, and then we look to the current day. You got De Ligt, De Jong,
Ziyech,
Van de Beek, Ziyech, Antony. You know, you could just keep going. There's Tagliafico, who's managed to just stay there without being sold. But that's a really good point. I'm going to look into this. Tips.
Hugh, you missed out on the biggest player from Ajax. And I was just researching on that.
Hold on. Van Persie?
You're a Milan fan. Come on, dude.
Hold
biggest Milan player, one of the best Milan players came from the Ajax academy.
Is this Van Basten? Am I not?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Cool. Yeah, I was drawing a blank there. I actually didn't know that. I took a wild guess just because he was Dutch.
Van Basten came from Ajax.
Yeah, thank you for that hint. Best Milan player. I did not know that. I'm going to have to look into that. I kind of joined into the Milan train a little late, so I didn't get to see Van Basten in his prime. I just got to see highlights and just know that he's an absolute legend wearing the AC Milan colors. But, yeah, wow. Appreciate this.
Yeah, and there's also one more player from... There's also one more Milan legend from Ajax.
Who is it?
And we got him from Sporting.
Who that?
Is this Leao?
No. He's also one of the Dutch, from the Dutch trio.
I'm thinking. It's either Rijkaard.
Yeah, Rijkaard.
Rijkaard. Okay, cool. Another Dutch player.
Frank
Yeah,
Rijkaard.
cool. Frank Rijkaard. Yeah. Wow. I tell you what, they produce youth products. I mean, this makes sense. Tips here, technique, insight, personality, and speed. This makes sense.
Even Seedorf is from the Ajax academy.
Seedorf? Jeez. Yeah. So obviously. Dennis Bergkamp.
Shit.
Obviously, they know what they're doing, and it's not. See, that's the great thing. It's not just Dutch players, right? They, like you were saying, they are one of the best transfer market teams in Europe. Going and getting Sebastian Haller, and I mean, he's killing it. They got him for 20 mil. This dude's probably going to be worth 40 by the end of the season. They love doing this. And it's very. So that's cool that you're doing the research into Ajax. You know, not Ajax, just successful youth academies, and stumbled across this. I'm super excited to end this podcast and start looking into this right now.
All right, guys, it's been great. See you.
All right, so we're going to close it out here.
Hugh just found some soccer porn.
Yeah, seriously. But let's keep going. We've got, I think, 3 more groups left, and we're going to save the best group for last. That'd be Group B. So let's move on over to... Oh, this is Group A. Manchester City, PSG, Rb Leipzig, Club Brugge. Let's start with a cracker of a match. Manchester City versus Rb Leipzig. Booty, I think you watched this one.
I did.
Let's get right into it. This was a 6-3 game. Holy fuck.
It was fun, dude.
It's fun to watch.
It was pretty fun. I was texting him halfway through some nuggets to take out of this one, man.
Yeah.
Jack Grealish, my goodness, man. They gave this man too much space down the sides, dude. All day. Did what he wanted. The goal he had was very what we like to call the Chiesa style, that winger style goal. Exactly, dude. Cutting off the angle, right? Slide in, get the angle, put the little curve on it.
Tira-giro.
Woo, dude, it was sexy, man. But not to mention this man, like, too much speed for him.
Too much technique.
On the flip side of things, man, with RB, you can definitely tell they're missing their man back there that we were just talking about, Upamecano.
Really?
Defensive lapses, couple of them, man. First one, as you can see, own goal. I'm not sure. It was a very...
I did see this one.
Moise Keane style own goal where you're like, I don't even know what the fuck you were even trying to do, but the other goal is the other way.
Yeah.
And you could tell the minute he puts touch on it, it's off of a header.
He headed it right into the goal.
Headed it right into the goal.
Yeah.
So you're like, dude, I don't really know what you were even trying to fucking do there. Then there was a handball that led to a PK, and it was one where it's like, bro, you got to get your hands down.
Yep.
Kind of accidental, but at the same time, it wouldn't have been accidental had your hands been
at
down.
your side. Yeah.
So a couple mental lapses back there. So hate to sound like that broken record like from the last game we talked about with the mental lapses. What was the other one that we talked with Barca? So we're kind of back on that. But lots of looking around and looking at each other. But they still managed to hang in there. You know what I mean?
Dude.
They still managed to hang in. They kept fighting. They kept clawing. It was just that City just pulled away later. And it was just too much down the wings, man. A lot of pushing forward for Man City, as you would expect with Pep, right? So it happens. Look at those heat maps, man.
Interesting. They actually sat
Beautiful.
back quite a bit.
They sat back a little bit, and then they would just all of a sudden out of nowhere just fly forward.
Flip it.
And it was just too much for RB.
Jesse Marsh?
Too. Jesse Marsh,
Hasn't
hats
figured
off.
it out yet?
Hats off.
Yet?
But, hey, I'll tell you what, though. Your boy Nkoko,
Yeah, fucking hat trick.
dude,
Play the game.
Hattie. And let me tell you this on the last part, okay? This is my last little tidbit about this game. If you like pretty goals,
Uh-huh.
go watch this game.
Really?
Pretty goals, man.
Just hitting.
The Grealish one I just said.
Oh, yeah.
With Leipzig, man, it's a lot of crosses.
Really?
A lot of crosses. Every single one, if I'm not mistaken, was a cross.
We can get that information. I'll tell you how many.
Really, really pretty stuff, man. With Olmo trying to, he's that guy.
Forgot he's there.
Exactly, another guy that we kind of forget about, the creator. They're finding space on the sides, working it back to the middle, and it was really both sides, pretty goals, man. De Bruyne had a couple chances, as you would expect. Just put a little bit too much on him, but. Man, you can't give him too much space to work with. You can't give Grealish that much space to work with, and it's funny. I can't get off his nuts right now because it was that signing for 100 mil that we don't talk about because Messi fucking stole the show like 2 days later.
No, it's like the same
Right?
day almost. Yeah.
So, it might not be worth 100 mil for that signing, but it's close.
Messi actually had Manchester City looking for the receipts for Grealish.
That's right. Wait,
Where's my receipt? I don't want this guy back. Take a refund.
like no, Jack,
he
we
was
didn't talk
free?
at all.
Yeah,
no.
it's like, damn it, they bought him for free. Fuck.
You dreamt that we talked, Jack.
Right.
No, you're still on Aston Villa, man.
Yeah, so this game, so much firepower on this Manchester City side as well. I was just realizing this. You were saying lots of lapses, right? And towards the end of the game, your legs are going to get tired, especially if you're playing what looks like a high press. It looks like RB was very much in the other half of the field.
Yeah.
First couple of subs, Fernandinho, Gundogan, both world-class international stars. Then you got Phil Foden and Raheem Sterling coming in the 70th minute.
Yeah.
Both very fast, very quick.
They just look for those channels, man.
Yeah.
They look for the channels. Okay, is Grealish open? Cool, let's go to him. Let's go. Is Foden open? Cool, let's get it to him. It's what Juve should have been doing, like you said. With there is no lapse there with these guys between the midfield and the attackers, man. It's fun. It's fun. I hate Man City, but it's fun. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, and looking over at Man City's natural positions, Pep. I understand now. I get why Pep and Klopp love to play that single CDM, because what it allows you to do is it allows you to take the other two midfielders and create a line of 5.
Yeah.
So you have 3 forwards, left, center, right. You take the 2 center mids, left and right center mids, and you slot them in between the left forward and the center forward, and then you slot the other midfielder between the right forward and the center forward, and you've got this wall of 5 with a high press, and it is just difficult to break down.
Yeah.
You're forced to kick the ball long. It's very difficult to build out the back, and when you have this many numbers high up the field
Too many
with
options,
this much quality, well, what this does is this is the whole counter-pressing idea.
Yeah.
And that you defend in a position to attack and you attack in a position to defend, to where when you are pressing high up the field and you win the ball back, all your players are in the position right away to immediately attack.
Exactly.
And when that works, you get 6 goals.
Yeah.
And then if you have the ball, and it looks like Pep here for quite a while maintained possession in his own half and then quickly flipped the switch. And what that does is it forces Leipzig to kind of step a little bit higher and press a little bit.
And go over the top.
Yeah. And you go over the top, and there's plenty of space. I was reading Jesse Marsh really loves to get everybody pressing on the ball. And when you chase the ball, you chase the game, you leave spaces behind you. you're going to lose. You're going to lose, especially to a team like Man City who has the capability to counter with Raheem Sterling and Grealish and Foden.
Too much.
And De Bruyne. Yeah, it's too much to try and play them straight up. Props to trying, though. You know, you almost did it. 6-3. There was a point when this game was like 3-2, and you're like, oh, fuck. They might come back. You know, it was like, what was the score?
They kept.
It was 3-3. It was a 3-3 game at one point.
And you see those little defensive lapses. Like, wow. Had they not happened, we could have been talking about a different game here.
I'm sorry, it was 4-3.
Yep,
it's 4-3. But still, when that
and it was 3-2, I think, at one point too.
It was 2-1, 3-1, 3-2,
4-2,
4-2, 4-3, 5-3, 6-3.
Yep.
So looking at that, I mean, the belief was there.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's good. You know, Jesse's gonna get him believing, man.
Yeah, I've heard.
Fun fact.
Yeah, go.
Did you know we know Jesse's coach with USA before? Did you know he was the assistant coach under Bob Bradley for USA?
Whoa.
I didn't know that. They mentioned it during the game.
Yeah, that is interesting.
That's fun stuff.
So he's got some experience on the international stage. I wonder if that helped get him a job over here.
Come coach the US, man.
Dude, please. He said he would do it.
Fuck.
He said he would do it. Rohit, I'm going to just ask. You don't have to. It looks like your camera's off. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Did you have anything to say about that Manchester City and Rb Leipzig game?
Yeah, I mean, this is not regarding to the game. I was looking at the lineup and I saw a player and suddenly it reminded me of a story. There's a guy called Klosterman in the lineup. Yeah.
Awesome. Tell us the story, man. Share the story.
So I'm sure Hugh will be interested to listen to this. So there was this guy called Klosterman. So he actually started off as an athlete. Like he wanted to be an athlete like what Usain Bolt and whatever those guys run. So he started off at that, but and he recorded speeds of 36 kilometers per hour. Now for that, that's actually nothing when you're comparing to the sprint athletes who run in the Olympics. I think Bolt is around 43, 44. So he actually went for football, and Rangnick identified him and they put him as a defender. So this guy actually is insane. I saw him match Mbappe pace for pace.
Klosterman?
So, yeah, Klosterman.
Wow, never would have guessed that. Okay, very cool. Love those story times. Let's move on over to the other half of this group. This is PSG and Club Brugge. I'm trying to find it. There it is. I actually watched this game, and one thing I got to point out is that this season for PSG is going to be a lot like the season with Barcelona when they first got Messi, Suarez, and Neymar. A lot of people don't remember, it did not start out blazing guns right away. It took them time to figure out how to play with each other. And for a brief moment at the very beginning of this game, it was electric for PSG. And they were starting to work the ball. Neymar was doing his thing, starting on the left, driving in right. Messi was wide right.
They were fired up.
They were fired up, like, yes, this is our first time we get the three of us together, Messi, Mbappe, and Neymar.
Eminem.
Yeah, Eminem. And then for some reason, they kind of lost that style, and they started to get kind of shook up. Club Brugge have these three really good players, Ketelaere, Lang, and Soa, all very young.
Mm-hmm.
And it became the Lang, Ketelaere, and Soa show, where these three players were causing problems for PSG down the pitch. PSG in that back line, it seemed like a struggle. Like they just couldn't figure it out. Wijnaldum really couldn't find his place in the midfield. Herrera had an amazing goal with an assist from Mbappe. That was beautiful. Club Brugge came back, scored another beautiful goal. It was very beautiful soccer, dribbling down the left, crossing it in, one-time finish. It did go in off a deflection. And then Messi immediately comes down the field and does his typical drive down the right, cut in.
Give him a little tiny bit of space.
He hit a beautiful shot.
I saw that.
And it hit the upper 90, and you're like, oh, I wanted that to go in.
Even the keeper paused.
Even the keeper was like,
look back at
that's beating me. That's not going to do it. So there were times where PSG really showed that those front three are extremely dangerous. But I got to give prop to Club Brugge here. They did an amazing job. Mignolet did his job. The CDMs here were very disruptive when PSG were trying to build some kind of attack. And it was just, man, this was a fun game to watch. Club Brugge came to play here, and they've done a really good job building this team. I'm very excited to see how this team faces up against Manchester City, because that team is way more complete than PSG is right now.
Yeah.
PSG are still kind of going through an identity crisis. I really hope they figure out how to start Messi, Mbappe, Neymar, and it doesn't become this revolving door of, all right, let's bring in Di Maria, all right, let's bring in Icardi, all right, let's bring in whoever, and they maintain that front three, and those other guys just accept the role as you're coming off the bench.
So and piggybacking off what you said, man, it seems like still the same issues, different day with the back line with them, man.
Yeah, it's Kimpembe doesn't strike me as a complete center back. He made a mistake very early, and should have had a red card.
Really?
I think it was Kimpembe, and then Paredes came in and made the tackle, and it should have been a red card. Luckily, they called Marquinhos. They said Marquinhos was close enough that it didn't. It was either Paredes with the mistake or Kimpembe. I'm pretty sure it was Kimpembe. But
and Mbappe hurt again.
Is he hurt?
Yeah, he came out of this game.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't finish the game.
Hurt again.
Oh, Icardi.
Yeah.
Man, unfortunate.
So, yeah.
Looking at the stats real quick, PSG had 64% possession to Club Brugge's 36. I tell you what, they might have had the possession, but Club Brugge did not look like they were phased at all. Looking at their shots, Club Brugge had 16 shots to PSG's 9. And of those 16 shots, 7 were on target, with 14 on target for PSG. Like I said, the attack just didn't look as threatening as you thought it would have for PSG. Club Brugge, man, they were just, I loved watching them attack the net, and they didn't need a lot of possession to do so. Hans Van Aken, he was doing a really good job. One thing I also really like about Club Brugge is Charles de Ketelaere. He was listed here as a center forward, but played as this false 9, and I love watching a really good false 9. Firmino is a really good false 9. De Ketelaere was dropping in, picking up the ball, creating chances for Noah Lang and Kamal Soa to attack down the wings. It's just really good football. I really enjoyed this game a lot, and good to see a team like Club Brugge get out with 1 point. It will be an uphill battle. Rohit, did you happen to catch this game? Was there anything in particular that struck you as, predictable, or, man, I really thought PSG were going to walk away here? What were your thoughts?
For me, I think PSG have, like you said, an identity crisis. I think Pochettino has got a real job on his hands to probably stitch 3 of the greatest players who have played football together, 3 of the greatest attackers together into a system, and the others are not good enough. I think you also touched upon a point where you said Kimpembe again. I'm not convinced by Kimpembe. He was good when Thiago Silva played alongside him, and there was a sort of a senior guy next to him. But Marquinhos is world class, no doubt about that. But Kimpembe, I'm not sure about him. Hakimi provides that good width for PSG, but for me, PSG seem to build a side more for image rather than team building, like what Manchester City does. Where Manchester City actually buys players that suit their system rather than just buying left, right, and center.
Right.
PSG just seem to be just building for the 2022 World Cup that's in Qatar. So I'm not sure about this team. I think even Diallo is actually a centre back. He's not a left back. I think this is just a team that's just stitched up together just to please the crowd. I don't know how this team is going to do tactically.
I would agree. They're definitely, like we keep saying, there's an identity crisis. I will say they did bring in Nuno Mendes as the left back, and I think if it wasn't such a recent move, he would have started the 90 minutes. I'm really excited to see him today. I'm hoping he gets 90 minutes today on that left back. He, for me, is one of the up-and-coming best left backs of the world. He will compete for best left back with Theo Hernandez. And then you also got Hakimi on the opposite side. So combining Hakimi, Nuno Mendes with Messi, Mbappe, and Neymar, that front five attacking right there is very dangerous. If Herrera, Paredes, and Wijnaldum can figure out their roles in that midfield, I think this team will be very dangerous. And, again, we both said it, Rohit. Kimpembe, he needs to either figure it out or someone needs to start in his place to make that man compete. Because he just seems like too comfortable, as if like, I'm the second best center back here. I don't have to really work for this job.
Get Sergio Ramos healthy and get him in there, man.
Oh, man, I
keep
forgot about him.
I know.
Yeah, as soon as Sergio Ramos is here. And you know what? Sergio might actually help Kimpembe grow as a player.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be times in the future where Marquinhos is not going to be able to play for whatever reason, and it's going to be Kimpembe and Sergio. And Sergio is not going to sit quietly as Kimpembe makes mistakes. So that should help his growth. But this PSG kind of got lucky starting off against Club Brugge, because I can tell you what, if it was PSG Man City, I got my money on Man City walking through this PSG team. Rohit was just mentioning, sorry, Booty went to the bat. Rohit was just mentioning that Man City buys players to fit the system, where PSG buys players for marketing for the World Cup.
They like the shiny things.
They like the shiny things. That's right. Ooh, shiny
Gold.
Messi. I like Messi. Shiny.
I like gold.
Yeah. So PSG should have got a W here, but Club Brugge proving that they are deserving of being in this Champions League. Let's move on.
PSG got the D.
PSG got the D.
No, that's well said, Rohit, because I read some shit today. I don't know if you heard me use it earlier, but I saw some shit where I can't remember who it was. It might have been Herrera, or somebody was making a comment like, I don't understand why there's so much pressure on us to always win Champions League, and somebody commented like, because you're playing career mode on amateur.
Yes, exactly.
Your league sucks. Like, you buy everything that's shiny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll do it for Group A. We've got two more groups left. We're just going to kind of quickly skim through this next group. This is Group D. This is Real Madrid, Inter, Shakhtar, and Sheriff. Real Madrid getting out of the group with a late goal.
Very late.
From a Rodrigo from Edward Camavinga to Rodrigo. Late goal. Inter, as much as I hate to give them credit, they look really good this season, despite losing Lukaku, Hakimi. They look like they haven't missed a beat, and it's a brand new coach.
I was wishing really evil things on them, and it's not happening.
No, yeah, I really didn't think they would have this much success, but they look good. Yesterday they won, I think it was like 6 or 7-1 against Genoa.
6-1.
6-1.
6-1.
Man, it was fun. They looked dangerous. Now, granted, it's Genoa, so don't get too excited about it. But this Real Madrid team, they are also trying to rebuild here. They started with Vinicius Jr. and Lucas Vazquez as their wingers, with Benzema in the middle. Benzema was having a tough time trying to get through with Bastoni, De Vrij, and Skriniar. Those are all three very big, very aggressive center backs. So really wasn't expecting Benzema to do too much unless it was on a counter. This midfield, as always, great midfield. Modric, Casemiro, Valverde is really showing that he can fulfill the spot of any three of those. He had a great game as well. This back line is still very sketch for me. Militao and Alaba, two brand new center backs. Alaba is typically a left back that he's just a coachable player. He'll play center back if you ask him, but that's not his natural position. Carvajal, world-class elite. He did very well. And man of the match here was Courtois. And I'm curious. I want to see how many saves he had. Courtois had 5 saves. Wow. So he had a very busy day trying to defend the net.
Save my fantasy team.
Rightfully so. I mean, yeah, Booty got him on fantasy. Clean sheet, 5 saves. Inter had 18 shots with 5 on target. Real Madrid had 12 shots with 2 on target. Possession was relatively even, 47-53. This is a game I really wish I would have watched the total 90 of, but from what I saw, this was a really good matchup. These two should coast through to the end, but I don't want to speak too soon, because last year this other team, Shakhtar Donetsk, really challenged for those top 2 spots in that group. So it was almost the exact same group, Madrid, Inter, Donetsk. Shakhtar Donetsk actually lost to FC Sheriff.
Sheriff.
I shot the Sheriff, not Borussia. Shakhtar Donetsk. I'm blanking on the name already. Brazil U. I just want to keep calling him Brazil
Yeah,
U.
Shakhtar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brazil U didn't get that shot off on the Sheriff. Sheriff walking away with 3 points here. So Real and Sheriff are topping the group. Let's move on over to my favorite group. This is the group with AC Milan. I've been just trying to get here as soon as possible. Rohit, take it away, my man. Break down this game for us. Who won? What'd you think? Give us your thoughts.
Yeah. So finally, after 7 years of not being in the Champions League, AC Milan got into the group of death with Atletico, Porto, and Liverpool. And for a team that has played against each other in 2 famous finals, one in Athens and one infamous final of Istanbul, they've never faced off either in the San Siro or in Anfield. And this is the first time AC Milan was traveling to Anfield. And previous to this, AC Milan had only won 1 game in England out of 9. And the last time we went to England was against Portsmouth in 2009 in the Europa League, which was the Euro Cup then. So how it started off, obviously we all know that Liverpool are a very high pressing team. Ever since Klopp took over in mid 2015-16, he's been setting this team up to play a very high pressing game. He's been assisted by 4 people who are PhDs, and one guy is from who has a PhD in astrophysics or something like that. I don't know how he does it with football, but I think anybody who's familiar with the baseball, I'm sure you guys would be familiar. The Boston Red Sox is owned by the same guy who owns Liverpool. That is FSG. Oh, you're from Boston?
I'm not, but you would think, right?
He loves Boston. He loves the Red Sox.
Yeah. The FSG group are the guys who actually started off the famous Moneyball movement. It was even made into a movie by Brad Pitt or whatever. So they started off using data analysis for baseball, and they actually used data analysis, and then they won the Champions League equivalent in baseball. I think again Woody would know because I'm not familiar with baseball coming from India. We have cricket here, so they won the Champions League equivalent. In USA, and then FSG used the same model here in Liverpool, and they have 4 research scientists. So why I told this story is Liverpool have been into this project for around 5 to 6 years now. They actually study their teams in depth, use a lot of data, crunch the numbers. They even they can even predict as to what the player or ex-player is going to do next. So how Liverpool started off is Liverpool have 3 ways of pressing their opponent. So if anybody asks me how do you define a press is a kind of a movement that you make without the ball. To get the ball back, to win the ball back. So Liverpool actually do not, with their kind of play, that is the gegenpress, they actually do not need the ball a lot. They're quite comfortable without the ball. So in the Liverpool actually started off in a very intense manner. You can see the system. You can see they started off with a 4-3-3. Origi starting in the middle and Horta starting on the left. They started out very intense and they pressed AC Milan. Here we go. So they pressed. You can see here that Salah is diagonally positioned between Tomori and Theo, and Horta is diagonally kept is between Theo Hernandez and Calabria, and Origi is marking Kessie and Benacer. So this actually gives no passing options to the goalkeeper, and he's forced to kick the ball long, where the 2 tall centre backs from Liverpool actually can win the ball back. This is one type of pressing. The next type of pressing is 3 players would actually come and try to dispossess the player the opposite player who's having possession. So in one sequence, I saw Theo Hernandez was having the ball, and Henderson, Salah. Can you come now? Can you scroll down? Can you scroll down here? A little bit more. A little bit more. No, I think it's going. Yeah. So like they would actually like there would be three people who are actually attacking one player,
Yeah, I'm
and
scrolling.
this player actually does not have any other option than to give the ball away or try to I mean if he's actually good with his feet, he can actually dribble past three players, but Theo Hernandez is not that. I mean, it's not that. Yeah, this one. Yeah, so you can see that there are three players trying to dispossess Theo. The disadvantage of this kind of press is that it's very physical. It actually takes a lot of energy. So if a team presses like this constantly for 40 minutes, you won't have any energy left. So that's why Liverpool use something like a horizontal press where they press the opposition to one side of the pitch. There is like earlier I spoke about the three zones for Atalanta. So they actually divide it into three zones and they actually press the opposition against that particular zone, and they actually outnumber. So if suppose there are five players from AC Milan in one zone, they actually bring Liverpool actually have six players in that zone. So that yeah, so here you can see that they are actually covering every passing option of AC Milan, even with the throw in. So this is also another tactic that they use. Another way is a
Yeah.
pressing trap. So
Wow.
what's a pressing trap is that if some can you bring down? Yeah. So here, Cassie is pressed. He actually has no other option. His only option is go to the keeper, but he has to. The problem here is he has to decide fast. Otherwise, Naby
This one?
Keita will actually dispossess him. So his only option is to go to Calabria. Calabria is actually being marked by Robertson, but he does not know that. He's being marked by Robertson, and this is a pressing trap. They're actually kind of like fooling us into thinking that this is the only option. And once that option came, Robertson used his pace and took the ball from Calabria. So this is the kind of pressing that Liverpool uses. Liverpool is one of the best pressing teams in Europe. So I actually have I have no qualms that we actually did not do that great against Liverpool. They have been in building since 5 to 6 years against AC Milan. It's like 1.5 years that we've been in build. So this is actually a great lesson for us to take as to understand what is our level. But the best part is that even though we played one of the best teams in Europe in full strength, we actually came out well. We actually came 3-2, which is something great. We had our own problems. We were very disorganized. You can see in this picture, we were very disorganized. We were not pressing our opponents properly. We were giving lots of space to the Liverpool midfielders to build out from the back. That's also one issue we had. And then, can you go now? Can you scroll down? Yeah, down. You can see even in the first goal when the Trent Arnold Alexander scored, the main principle of a Pioli team is that there should be no gap. The gap between Benacer and Kessie, whoever plays on the double pivot, should be not more than 6 meters. But here it's easily 8 to 10 meters, and that gives space for Arnold to actually run into that space and go one-on-one with Tomori, and then he scored that first goal. And one thing which you mentioned earlier was that Firmino acts as a false nine, but since Firmino did not play here, it was Diego Hota or Origi who actually played as a false nine. They would
Right.
actually come in, play between the defensive lines of AC Milan, and draw one of Kier or Tomori out of the position and create space behind that defender to run into. and you can yeah, here is one, you can see Origi drawing out Care. Then you have Horta, one instance of Horta drawing out Kiera actually, by making him follow them. So this is how one this is the one way that they actually create the space behind the defense of any opposition. So
Yeah, and if I could jump in real quick, Rohit, one thing particular about this goal that I noticed as well was that Jordan Henderson made a really long diagonal run past our back line, and it pulled Benacer out of his position. And then Trent Arnold-Alexander saw that space, and for me, Leao should have stuck with him. And if you watch that goal, Leao kind of like lazily chases Trent Arnold and then just kind of gives up on the play. And Tomori, being pulled out of position because of Origi, is now caught in this decision. Do I step to Trent Arnold or do I stay with Origi? You could kind of see that lapse of decision making. He steps to Trent Arnold way too late, and then they score that goal. But I mean, I just wanted to quickly point out the sequence of events. Jordan Henderson's run pulls Benacer, which leaves the gap for Trent Arnold-Alexander to run into. They know that Leao is not going to track Trent Arnold, and it leaves Trent Arnold wide open in the box and forcing a one-on-one with Tomori when it was too late. So yeah, I wanted to kind of break that goal down just a little bit more all the way back to, because it all starts with that Jordan Henderson run. If Benacer doesn't chase Jordan Henderson,
no,
Trent Arnold-Alexander doesn't make that
picture,
run into the box,
see that the
and they might not
players are in a
score.
triangle
But
shape.
I mean, like you were saying, it's
And
just so
one way
many
of breaking a press.
systematic
If you're playing in
plays
perfect
for
triangles,
Liverpool.
it's,
I'll let you get back
I mean,
to it. Sorry,
as a
keep
coach,
going.
I'm sure you would understand triangles are very difficult to do, but it requires a lot of understanding between the players and a lot of movement. But since this Liverpool team have been the same for almost
Yep.
4 years, they move in perfect triangles. You made one point about Henderson running, Leao being lazy and not chasing back. I think that's a mistake from Leao. I think there's also a mistake from Kessie as well. I think he should have ran in to cover that space as well. It's a sequence of mistakes. There's a lot of sequence of mistakes, and maybe Benasser shouldn't have followed Henderson. I think it's also owing to a lot of experience as well. It's owing to a
Yep.
lot of experience. We don't have an experience of playing such a big team like Liverpool, who press a lot. The only kind of team that we have faced like this is Atalanta and Serie A, and maybe a Lille in the Europa League. Other than that, we are used to facing teams who actually park the bus, plane, train, all those kind of things like Udinese, where they don't even need the ball. They're like, take the ball for yourself and try to break us down. So yeah, so that's the kind of thing that they that's the kind of tactics that they use. But against Liverpool, we actually faced a different caliber. So how do you break a team that presses so
Yeah.
well? Liverpool use a very high line, so there's always bound to be a lot of space behind the fullbacks, and Leao actually did create a lot of space behind. Yeah, this picture. He actually did run into space a lot of times and received a lot of balls, but since we didn't have Giroud, there was no all of those crosses that we made into the box were actually a waste. That was one thing that we missed a lot, but Rebic provided the work rate. Another way of breaking down a press is by quick passing, and that's what we did again in the first goal, where we just made some quick passes, like Diaz to Salamakis to Lea to Rebic. Those were quick passes. They did not take more than 7 seconds to score that goal, right from Diaz to Rebic. So that's one way of breaking down any pressing team. No pressing team is unbreakable. And another way of breaking down is counter attack. So we actually again I spoke about the space behind Trent Arnold Alexander. That was used by Leo and Theo Hernandez for that second goal, where they actually used that space, and Joe Gomez was drawn away into the right of Liverpool, the right of Liverpool's flank, and which crossed and in for Theo Hernandez in the center, who had that space, and then we know that second goal came in. So these are some of the tactical principles that Liverpool used, and it was a masterclass from Liverpool. It was a masterclass from Klopp. I think AC Milan can take a lot more positives than they can take negatives from this game.
Yeah, definitely agree. I couldn't have said it any better. This was a masterclass from Liverpool. And while it was a very difficult opponent, I think this was the perfect game and test for Milan to go into the Champions League campaign, because we're going to walk away from this with a lot of lessons. We're going to see Liverpool in match day 6 back in San Siro. That is going to be a really good game, because we're going to have learned a lot. Going from a very high-pressing team of Liverpool to a team that likes to sit back in Atletico Madrid, we're going to have both styles of play coming at us, which is going to really help us grow. I think this game against Liverpool is going to make us a much stronger team in Serie A. And today, I anticipate us to learn from a lot of those mistakes we had against Liverpool and build on that against Juventus today. I have nothing to add. You broke down this game so well in this article. I'm going to share this on our page. I really enjoyed reading this article. And like you said, this is just Klopp 5 years in the making. They didn't even have their strongest squad in. Mane wasn't in till late. Oh, no, he was. Was he in?
He brought him in later.
They brought him in later.
Matip was there. Konate wasn't there.
Mane came in later. Firmino wasn't even in. Thiago didn't get in till later. Virgil van Dijk wasn't in. Matip wasn't in. They were missing he was there. Who was it? It was Konate and Virgil van Dijk. Thank you. Those two were not there. Now, granted, I would say their best players, in my opinion, are Alisson, Trent Alexander-Arnold, and Robertson. I think for me, those three players are what make Liverpool so dangerous. Salah, of course, I can't forget about Salah. I mean, he had that gorgeous goal where he's kind of like, it was all right.
Should have had the second. Yeah, should have had two.
That was why he did that. I thought he was like grading. Okay, so he was like, I don't know. All right. But yeah, this team, they didn't even have their full squad, but still a very dangerous team. And like you said, this is 5 years in the making. It's just a system where they just can plug and play. It's very Ajax-ish, and it was a lot of fun to watch. Even though we lost, I had a sense of belief at halftime that we might win this game, being that it was 2-1. Yeah. Yeah, it was awesome to have that feeling for like a brief moment. It was like, oh my God, we're winning! Holy fuck! I thought we were going to be chasing the lead the entire game. So that was really exciting. I mean, first game back, there's a guy's face that they posted during the game, during halftime, and I saved this photo. We're going to post this on our channel. And it's this feeling of like you could just see so many emotions. He wants to cry, but he's happy. And it perfectly sums up AC Milan's return to the Champions League and getting to that 2-1 point in the game. I was so excited for Milan to be back and be back in this fashion. So looking forward to the next 5 games for AC Milan. Footy, do you want to add anything quick?
I was feeling lucky for you guys.
Thanks,
until I started thinking, uh-oh. It's a Milan lead on Liverpool at halftime.
In the cup. Yeah.
Uh-oh. Yeah. No, man, it's good to see them back. Me being a Juve fan, I always say, though, man, it just doesn't feel right without them being in this competition. So it's cool to see them. Hey, heck of a try, man. Heck of an effort there for your first game back in a handful of years there. 7 years. Like we said earlier, though, man, just Liverpool was way too much.
Yeah.
Just a lot of options, a lot to go to, almost like we said with City. They played sloppy for 2 minutes. The good thing I would take away from that with AC Milan is they jumped on that opportunity and took advantage of the that 2 minutes of sloppiness. So that's always good.
Yeah. I agree.
So should be interesting to see Atletico. As we know, Rohit just kind of hit on it a couple minutes ago. I love how you said, this press. It's one of the best in Europe, and to me, there's only been one person that's figured it out so far, and it's fucking our man Simeone. So I mean, it'll be interesting to see this again, to see that matchup again. So it'll be fun. But no, I think you can only think good things from Milan, man. You go in that hostile environment, Anfield, and they come out. They went in swinging, man, and that's what all you could really do against Liverpool. So one takeaway for Liverpool, I think, to end this on, we forget all the injuries they had last year. They're all back.
Yeah,
it's scary. It's a scary thing.
They're very much a contender this season.
Yeah, Van Dijk didn't even play today or this game.
Yeah, or Konate or Firmino. Salah. Yep. Mane came in late.
Yeah.
So this is still a very much a scary team. Really glad with that result.
Yeah.
You can't not be impressed as a Milan fan with this kind of result. At least it wasn't like a 3-0 Bayern Barca,
Yeah.
Where it was an obvious
an obvious
it was an obvious
shit show, man.
Shit show, and you're like, oh god, we kind of had some identity. We did struggle. As one of my favorite coaches would say, we weathered the storm very well.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, we were stuck out in the ocean there during a hurricane, and we somehow pulled away with 2 goals. That was it was very impressive. But that will do it. Actually, there is one more game, but this was kind of a boring game. Atletico tied Porto. It was a 0-0. It was 6 shots to 5 shots. I'm excited to see Atletico go up against Liverpool, but this group is now Liverpool, Atletico, Porto, Milan. So still plenty of time, plenty of games to get back up in those top 2 spots. I firmly believe that Milan can finish top 2 in this group. So we'll see what happens. But that will do it for the Champions League game. We're kind of rushing to get out of here to watch our Saints get their second game going. Booty, you want to close out the episode for us?
Absolutely. It's that time where we give that shout out to the person we love, we hate. I'll start it off and pass it to you.
Okay.
Shout out to the Swampsters FC. That's our that's a squad I play for. We got a game in a few hours.
Oh, nice.
So I'm only drinking a little bit, even though I played better when I was drunk a few times. So took an Adderall one time. That was.
Oh man, that's fun.
I played keeper that day. That was great.
Yeah,
was
that's
a good
when
day.
you're focused, locked in. Yeah.
I was on the performance enhancers that day. It worked really well.
Shout out to the Swampsters.
Shout out to the Swampsters. What you got, dude?
I'm trying to think on the spot here. You know what? Shout out to little Daniele Maldini. He got his first start in the Champions League. He got his first cap in the Champions League, coming in late at the end of that Liverpool game. Maldini, his dad, while he didn't show it, he was proud. Like, damn, my son's finally in the Champions League.
They showed him a couple times.
Yeah, and he had a few good dribbles. You could tell he's very young. I still want to see more from him. I think he can do more. But shout out to little Maldini, continuing the legacy. Third generation Maldini making it to the Champions League. It's very romantic. So
it is crazy.
Shout out to little Daniel.
We're gonna play Juventus in a few
Rohit, do you have a shout out for today? It can be good, it can be bad. Who are you going to shout out today on the podcast?
Yeah, so conquer his biggest fear in Paulo Dybala, who actually always gets the better of him. So if AC Milan are to get a good result in Turin, I think this is gonna be the big game for us.
Oh man, love that. Romagnoli, he's now got competition, so hopefully he proves himself today. But it looks like that'll do it for this Champions League Matchday 1 episode.
That's all we got.
That's all we got.
Follow us if you don't. If you don't, you're stupid. Subscribe to us. Do it all. Footy Fetish Show, baby, where the fetish is real and the footy is soccer. Peace out, boys, guys.